What the heck is Apple doing? We went from semi reasonable prices like these in the 2010s to absolute scorchers like this just recently. But pause. Before we get into the video, if I could ask all of you to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if y'all are interested in more content like this. Alright, let's start in the 2010s. $500 for an iPhone 4 in 2010 to only $100 more in 2016 for the iPhone 7. That's $100 in 3 generations. It's pretty fair. In 2017, the iPhone X was $1,100, and now the iPhone 17, as seen here, is a whopping 2,000 bucks. I mean, it's complete robbery. In 7 generations, we went up $900. Following Apple's previous price increase, the iPhone 17 should only be about 250 bucks more. But I know what you'll say. It's the Pro Max, it's the Pro Max. Fact is, it doesn't matter. What is actually making these prices increase so drastically is in all truth AI. AI and the greedy chip goblins are driving up prices so high that Apple has to charge egregious amounts just to cut the same profit. But I have a solution. Now, it's not going to be fun for Apple, but I think it will restore the iPhone to its former glory. Now, yes, the new iPhone is awesome. Great features, amazing camera, and a beautiful interface. But the average Joe Schmo can't afford to shell out 2 grand for a cool looking screen and a better camera. But luckily, I have 3 ideas that can change that. So, Apple, listen up. Idea 1, absorb cost. It is widely known that Apple makes huge profit margins. They make on estimate $1,300 per unit on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. I don't know of any other company making that much per unit. But one way to fix the cost crisis is to absorb the cost. Cut your profit to $800 or maybe even $500, bringing the cost of the phone down to 12 to 1500 bucks per unit. Now, Apple still needs to make enough profit to stay afloat. I get that. But considering they sell on a rough estimate 2 to 5 million 17 Pro Maxes a month, that's 1 to 2.5 billion dollars a month of pure clean profit at $1,500 consumer price per phone. Clearly enough revenue just off one model iPhone. So could it work? Yes. Will Apple do it? The sky will fall before that happens. But let's look at a more realistic option. Idea 2, make more efficient chips. Many people argue that Apple raises iPhone prices because of more powerful AI chips, but that's not necessarily the only option. Apple could help avoid major price increases by designing more efficient chips instead of simply making them bigger and more expensive. Think of it like this. Imagine you have two cars. One gets 20 miles per gallon, the other gets 40. Both get you to the same destination, but one does it using way less fuel. Computer chips work in a similar way. A more efficient chip can perform the same AI task while using less power and fewer resources. Apple already includes a specialized part of its chips called the Neural Engine. Instead of relying on the main processor for every AI task, the Neural Engine is built specifically for artificial intelligence. By improving this dedicated hardware, Apple can make AI faster and more efficient without dramatically increasing the size and cost of the entire chip. If an AI model is redesigned to use less memory and fewer calculations, it doesn't need as much processing power. That means Apple may not need to install the biggest or most expensive AI hardware in every single phone. Now that those two are out of the way, let's look at a third and final option for this video. Idea 3, cut costs elsewhere. Now, this idea may sound obvious, but it's something every major company does. If one part of your product becomes more expensive, you find ways to save money elsewhere. Let's say Apple has to spend more on AI chips. Instead of passing that entire cost onto you, they could cut cost in other areas of the iPhone. For example, Apple could make manufacturing more efficient. Even saving just a few dollars on each phone by streamlining production can add up to hundreds of millions of dollars when you're selling millions of iPhones. They could also negotiate better deals with suppliers. Apple is one of the biggest companies in the world, so when they buy camera sensors, displays, batteries, or memory chips, they're ordering them in huge quantities. That gives them leverage to ask suppliers for lower prices. Another option is redesigning internal components so they're easier and cheaper to manufacture without changing how the phone actually performs. Customer wouldn't notice the difference, but Apple could save money behind the scenes, real quietly. Now, even small changes like simplifying packaging, reducing shipping costs, or improving factory efficiency can save billions of dollars over time just because of the sheer number of iPhones Apple sells. Now, none of these ideas are exciting. You're not going to see Apple advertise, hey guys, we made our supply chain 5% more efficient. But if those savings help keep the price of the next iPhone lower, I think that's something us customers could actually really appreciate. At the end of the day, I'm not saying Apple has to sell iPhones at a loss. I'm just saying there are better ways to deal with rising costs than asking customers to spend $2,000 on a phone. Apple became one of the biggest companies in the world by making products that people loved, and I hope one day making them more affordable becomes part of that mission again. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment. Do you really think Apple is justified in charging these prices, or do you think they've gone way too far? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.